Yes, there is. Magic in the air. Wasn't that a great videotape? I want to thank Ken Gerber, who's here today, who produced this videotape. Stand up, Ken. Let's talk a little bit about magic. If we can get the slide projector on here, we'll go. What is magic? Well, as you saw in the videotape, magic is a program for non-exempt store associates. Our perception as managers is that magic is an incentive program, an associate incentive program, a program to support customer service and to reduce shrink. We expect to get a significant return from our investment on this program. However, from an associate point of view, it's a recognition program, not an incentive program. We want associates to perceive that it's a thank you for a job well done. And our interview with associates has shown that this kind of program can be very effective in accomplishing this purpose. Magic recognizes exemplary associate performance. And the key words here are recognition and performance. It's a performance-based program. That is, it recognizes what associates do, how they perform their jobs. Magic is the use of magic behaviors by our associates. There are two categories of magic behaviors, as you saw in the videotape: customer service and shrink reduction. Customer service can be recognized in two ways. First, a customer compliment to the store manager, either in writing or verbally. And secondly, good customer service as observed by store management, as performed on a daily basis by our associates. And this is the most powerful part of magic, the opportunity for our store management team to recognize good customer service on the spot. There are two specific shrink reduction behaviors that will be rewarded by magic. One is finding a switched ticket at the register, and the second is finding concealed shortages. You can see that we've limited the latitude of how we issue shrink, or rather magic tickets, with regard to shrink, because we want to maintain control. The program requires that only these behaviors result in the awarding of magic checks, and it's important to keep this in mind. These are the behaviors that on a daily basis should be occurring and should happen repeatedly and should be ongoing by many associates in the store. If the program is going to be successful, consistency is the key. Next, magic is magic performance standards. Cashier of the Month and Associate of the Month are the recognitions of a different character. Not only are we recognizing specific behaviors, but more importantly, we are recognizing behaviors consistently practiced over an entire month. Therefore, we are establishing performance standards for our associates. What will magic do for you? First of all, magic will allow your management team to thank and recognize associates for their performance and give them a tangible reward. Right or wrong, many of our managers feel uncomfortable thanking an employee for good performance. In management development classes, they tell us that praise alone seems ineffective. We know, however, that earned praise and recognition is one of the best ways to shape behavior and gain associate commitment. Magic will help our managers. In fact, It will assure that our managers recognize performance every day. Our managers will feel good because they have something tangible to give. Our associates will feel good because they will feel that their performance has been recognized. The Ames Corporation will benefit because customer service and shrink reduction behaviors will take place. It's a win-win-win situation. Next, Magic provides a regular opportunity to positively remind associates of important work standards. We all want every associate to have good attendance, to maintain a neat and well-kept work area, or if it's in the stock area, to maintain the stock correctly, to wear the proper attire and to wear their smocks, and to provide good customer service. What better way to remind associates of these standards than by recognizing associates who consistently meet the standards? It's a win-win-win. Next, Magic is an excellent opportunity to provide management with a time, kind of a neat moment in the day of the store when you could take a moment to create an excitement and enthusiasm among your associates. You think about it, you think about all the time we spend, you think about all the things that happen on a daily basis in the store. What could be more exciting than getting recognized for good performance on the spot? Now, I wanted you to think a minute. Think back to Tuesday when this conference opened. Think back to Tuesday night. What's the thing that you remember most about Tuesday night and about Tuesday night's presentation? Well, I remember when those two funny little characters came running in with their wheel carts and started feverishly passing out those materials. It was exciting. It was unexpected. It was fun. What will you remember about this presentation? Will you remember the standards for Associate of the Month? Hell no. You'll remember Jones jumping out of his smoke in his zoot suit. It was exciting. It was unexpected. It was fun. If every member of store management makes Magic exciting, unexpected, and fun, we'll have a hell of a Magic program. And the benefits that you'll reap will far exceed good customer service and shrink reduction. You'll have a tool, along with other tools that you already have, to make Ames a fun and rewarding place to work. You know what I'm talking about. Many of your store managers accomplish this now. Lastly, Magic is a proven program. It's a powerful program. Most importantly, Magic just isn't some harebrained, flash-in-the-pan program that some corporate office genius dreamed up. It's a proven program. It works. It was working at Zare. The feedback we received from you and your associates when we conducted store interviews has made it even better. Let's take another look at Magic behaviors. First of all, good customer service. We can award Magic checks to associates for a written or verbal positive customer comment to store management. We can also receive Magic checks or issue Magic checks for any of these other behaviors and many, many more that will be coming forth and we'll be talking about as our customer service program gains momentum and rolls out through the stores. For properly handling a difficult customer request, for responding quickly to a customer request, for greeting and thanking a customer in a pleasant manner, for minimizing customer delays, and for demonstrating superior knowledge of products, policies, customer service, or merchandise locations. All very important parts of our customer service program. Shrink reduction is also important. Correctly identifying switch tickets at the register is one way for associates to earn Magic points. Also, discovering shortages that result in vendor chargebacks will also earn them Magic checks. Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret now. One of my biggest secrets. Not that one. If you brought in top management consultants, if you brought in, say, Ken Blanchard or Tom Peters, You'd spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to hear this, but I'm going to give it to you for free this morning. What makes magic work? First of all, what makes magic work is that the customer or the magic checks must be awarded immediately following the observed behavior. When an associate performs in the manner that we want and we observe them performing, we want to give them a magic check right away, immediately. This makes it exciting. This makes it unexpected. This makes it fun. It also increases the probability that the behavior will be repeated again and again. Management must clearly articulate the specific magic behavior exhibited by the associate when they give them the magic check. Just as we saw in the videotape, we have to be very, very clear. Make sure the associate understands fully why we are recognizing them each and every time we issue a magic check. Third, Associate and Cashier of the Month awards are given to associates who meet all of the standards. We are establishing a high standard for performance. Make sure it's achieved before the reward is given. If no one meets the standard, don't give out the award. And next, we want to make sure that when we present Associate and Cashier of the Month rewards, that we do it in front of the group and we clearly articulate the reasons for the associate receiving the award by stating each one of the standards and identifying specific things that the associate has done during the month to meet each one of these standards. Take the time. Be specific. Hit each standard. Cite specific examples. Make it exciting. Make it unexpected. Make it fun. Let the associate bask in the moment of glory that they've earned. Now you're going to get another rare opportunity. A major competitor has implemented magic. This happened 6 months ago. But they didn't get the desired results. And they paid Tom Peters $100,000 to find out why. And I have here a copy of Tom's report. Here's what went wrong. First thing that went wrong was that their management team saw associates using magic behaviors but didn't issue the checks. Then some managers waited until later, or some of them didn't even award checks until the end of the month. Some managers gave magic checks to associates who didn't earn them, or for behaviors that were not included in the program. Other managers, when they gave associates the checks, said, well, here's your check, thanks a lot. But they didn't tell the associates specifically why the check was issued. Then again, Associate of the Month awards were given quietly, without fanfare, and sometimes in private. New associates were not taught how to earn the points. They didn't know what the magic behaviors were or how to execute them. They hadn't seen the magic videotape. Of course, I lied to you. No competitor has magic. It's an Ames competitive edge. It's a point of difference and can be a point of difference in the way we conduct our business. It can make us and take us one step above our competition. But we did audit the program. We did look at the program as it was implemented and as it was running in Zaire. And what we found was that when these kinds of things happened, the program was beginning to die out. So it's really important as we implement the program here at the new Ames that we not only do certain things the way we ought to with the program, but we ought to avoid the things we've just mentioned. Let's summarize. What has to happen? It has to be exciting. It has to be unexpected. It has to be fun. There has to be a consistency about the program. We have to consistently reward specific behaviors. We have to make it a part of our corporate culture. It has to be a part of our management style. Okay, now I want to shift gears for a minute.
If you'd all take a start off with a brief discussion of the manager's guide. If you'd all take a second and see if you can find your manager's guide here. Every store will receive the manager's guide prior to October, the rollout of the Magic program. In fact, it was mailed to all of our stores on Wednesday of this week. You will note on page 1 that the first 2 pages of the guide wanted to focus on a brief description of the Magic program. What is Magic? And then it moves on to discuss field and store management responsibilities. Let's take a minute here with the store manager's responsibilities. Please note that we have done everything we can to keep it simple so that our manager's time isn't consumed with Magic administration. Each of the items under the heading Manager's Responsibility are explained in more detail towards the end of the guide. You will note that only store management can write and present Magic checks. Store manager, assistant managers, and resident assistants. That's not to say that district managers and regional staff can't participate. Store management will, of course, write Magic checks based on each of your special requests. One quick comment on regional management and district management responsibilities, as mentioned in the guide. Integrity. Program integrity. We ask each of you to assure the program's integrity. On the bottom of page 2, performance standards for Magic. These standards, by the way, are different from what we previously used in the Zayre stores. Our standards here are streamlined and far easier to administer. The 2 primary standards are customer service and shrink. Associate of the Month and Cashier of the Month. It's on the top of page 3. If you just take a look for a second, we go into good detail about what that program is all about. Ed's already mentioned some of it. The Magic checkbooks. The new checkbooks. There's a brand new set of checkbooks coming. They should be arriving in all of our stores during the next week or 2. Stores will begin by using the new checks at the program rollout, which is October 2nd. Zayre stores currently on the Magic program will continue to use the old checkbooks up through the end of September. Zayre stores, please, and I want to re-emphasize this, please do not issue from the old checkbooks after October 2nd. Associates who do receive checks issued from the old checkbooks prior to October 2nd will be able to redeem all of those checks. Those redemptions will be honored. Redemption of Magic checks. Let's go to the top of page 5. Under the heading called Magic Redemption, Magic checks are redeemed toward the purchase of any merchandise in an Ames or Zayre store, and management will designate a register in the store as the discount register and also the Magic register. The associate uses the accumulated checks as cash to purchase the merchandise. And here we ask that when an associate goes through the register to use Magic points, they use no less than 5,000 at a time. Performance standards. There's a summary or behavior for, there's a summary of performance standards, and this is done for measuring behavior. If you would turn to the top of page 8, I believe it's on the top of page 8. You will note a sample of the performance standards summary. This form is found at the back of each checkbook. We need the store manager's support in completing this form, and on a monthly basis at the end of each month, the completed form is to be sent to Syracuse, where we have our financial office who will be processing the forms. This will help us keep track of the reward behaviors so that we can evaluate the program as it goes forward. Cash office control. The Magic Point redemption log is found at the bottom of page 8, which is submitted by the cash office to our Syracuse office again, where they process it. Instructions for this procedure are found on page 6, item number 3, under paperwork. W-2 reporting. Magic checks processed for redemption, only those that are redeemed by our associates, are considered income and will be reflected at the end of the year on our associates' W-2 form. And by the way, on the bottom of each check, as you issue it, you'll note there's a statement to that effect. Audit procedures. As we mentioned before, we'll track the effectiveness of the program. We're doing this to assure the integrity of the program. We don't want anything to jeopardize the future of the program. One last thing. Both prior to and at the start of the new Magic program, your stores will receive posters announcing Magic, as well as our first Magic newsletter. Now, as if by magic, back to you, Ed.
Thank you, Ken Magic Rowell. Now the challenge is up to you. The Magic program is going to be in your hands in the next few weeks to make with it what you will. And implementing the Magic program will be the key to starting it out successfully and having the impact that we want it to have with our associates. It's up to you now to put the excitement, the charge, the interest into it. And it's up to you to work with your store management team to make sure that they give it the deserved attention as it's going in. What we would ask you to do, you regional managers, you regional directors, is to, in the upcoming meetings with your store management team, your regional meetings, present the Magic program much as we have presented here. No, you don't have to have the cloud of smoke or the tails, but you'll have the videotape and you'll have a script, an implementation guide, which is in front of you now, to use in presenting the program. Then we'd ask that each of your store managers presents the same program in the same fashion to the group of associates immediately after those meetings and before you begin issuing Magic checks. Again, every associate in the store should see the videotape, and as many as possible should participate in that initial meeting. Those associates who don't go to the initial Magic meeting should then be approached and discussed and have the program discussed with one-on-one so that everybody clearly understands what Magic is and what you have to do to earn Magic points. And then once that's accomplished, hopefully the first week in October, you can begin to issue the Magic checks. Use your implementation guide and make sure that your store managers use the implementation guide to assure consistency and to make sure all the points are covered. All the dates for receipt of materials are also printed in that implementation guide. Today, in many of our markets, we are competing, not just for business, but for associates. As the baby boomers age, the pool of available labor, particularly to the so-called service industries, is shrinking and will continue to shrink. This came up again and again at the Human Resource Roundtables. Today, businesses are unable to operate or must sharply curtail the way that they wish to do business because of the shortages of qualified entry-level personnel. We are feeling the pinch today. If we are unable to develop strategies to compete effectively in this arena, we will be severely hurt in upcoming years. being on the low end pay-wise certainly has an impact. Yet we know that to remain competitive, we must continue to pay at the low end. There are two key challenges that we must meet. One is to orient and train new associates quickly. If we must accept turnover, it is crucial to bring new associates up to speed quickly. Poorly trained associates not only hurt the customers and hurt our business, but it also can lead to confused, turned-off associates, which then translates into higher turnover. The second challenge that we have in front of us is to consistently work towards the best work environment possible. Studies show that trained and motivated associates work harder and smarter. Associates who feel at home at Ames, who feel responsible for the business, are at the core of our success today. Most of our stores have 10 to 15-year associates who started out working part-time to earn Christmas money and who stayed. The future 15 or 20-year associate is starting to work for us today. What will they find when they walk into the store? What will happen when they become a new associate? In the last few months, we've spent a fair amount of time interviewing associates all over Ames, and what we found is that associates who perceive that they are needed, wanted, valued, respected, and a part of the Ames family will stay. And the key word here is perception. Those that do not leave. There is no one program or even a set of programs that can completely address these two key challenges. We do know, however, that a critical time for every new associate is when they begin to work for us. Earlier this month, Patty Mackensturm sent out to each store and each of you a revised new employee orientation package, which is a very easy-to-use checklist and guide. The revised new employee orientation package, if effectively used and if used consistently, will have a tremendous impact on your new associates. I encourage each one of you in this room to carefully review the program with each of your store managers and to make sure that it's properly in place. Many of you have for years been providing good customer service. Many of you for years have provided a positive work environment for store associates. We know that these things are tough to do in this discount retail environment that we're in. We can all learn from those of you who make it happen now. You know what good customer service feels like. Make it happen at Ames. You know what it takes to lead by example. Be an advocate of good customer service, but also a doer. What you and your store management does with customers will make the difference. Make sure your store management team, when they're on the floor, lead by example. Make it happen at Ames. You know how it feels to enjoy your work, to feel good about your job and your boss. Use magic as a tool to make it happen at Ames. The future of this enterprise is in the hands of our customers. Together, we will continue to make Ames America's retail success story. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ed. You make one heck of a magician, I'll tell you. The next gentleman we have the pleasure of bringing up is a familiar face to many of you in this room, since he came to Ames from the Zare Corporation, where there he serves as the Senior Vice President of Human Resources. Prior to that time, he spent 14 years with the Dayton Hudson Company, and he served in the capacity of Vice President of Personnel. We're very, very pleased to have him here this morning, as well as to have him here with us at Ames. Our Senior Vice President of Human Resources, Mr. Bob Brummer.